This is your boy Leon D. We're going to talk about a lot of things on this podcast, primarily food. I like to talk about food a lot, but we're going to talk about food around the world. We're going to talk about some other things that's going to touch your heart or make you mad. It really don't matter, but I'm gonna tell you about it though. DJ Leon D. Peace. Let's get it on. Yeah, this is your boy DJ Leon D. Let's talk about something. I talked about this before. It's food in Phoenix. So, I didn't find anything I liked about Phoenix and the food there because Phoenix don't really have anything homegrown. So, this is what I did this time. I went back there again. I went back. And the one thing I noticed is that Phoenix has a lot of suburbs. And so this time I decided to go to Scottsdale. Now, saying that, Scottsdale is where you want to eat when you go to Phoenix. Go to Scottsdale because they got a street called Scottsdale Avenue or Scottsdale Road, but it's the main street through the city. It goes through Old Town and all kind of other places. But I'm gonna tell you something though. Scottsdale is very vibrant. It's very upscale, where the average house costs about $800,000. But if you want to eat, that's where you got to go to eat. It's like going to Vegas and you got to go to Henderson, Henderson, Nevada to get some decent food. Because see, in Arizona just a big ass desert. And I don't know many animals that graze on sand outside of a camel, maybe. And even a camel is not sold or gonna be eaten there. They eat cactus and a lot of other stuff that they grow naturally, as native to that particular area of the country. But you go to Scottsdale, you got, like I said, it's upscale, but everything is clean and new, or at least it looks new. I don't think Scottsdale is a very, very old city, but the food though is really good food because you got a selection of everything. You can get tacos. You're gonna pay about $7 to $8 a taco, which is like ridiculous. But it's a lot better than going to Phoenix. Now Phoenix got some other areas that got decent food, like Chandler is not bad, but Scottsdale is by far the best food you ever gonna find in Phoenix. And and the good thing about it is that all of the restaurants are on the same street, Scottsdale Avenue or something like that. But they're all on the same street and they're all next to one another. Now, parking is a challenge, but they do have a few parking garages there, and they got a mall right in the middle of the damn main street. They got a mall, and I didn't, the mall has some restaurants, but I was into that. But what I did like about Scottsdale is that, yeah, good steak houses, yeah, some tacos. You get a lot of California type food, and that kind of food is really not my thing, But the big difference between that kind of food and California style food, you don't see guacamole on every damn thing. It's not on every menu. It's when you get a burger or whatever, you may want guacamole, and they do offer that, but it's not like California where guacamole is extra and avocados, it's not, it's just weird, when the avocado is damn near free, and yet the internal part of the avocado, the guacamole, costs you a lot more money. But saying that, if you go to Scottsdale, you would not be disappointed, and all the restaurants are open 7 days a week. Now, you do have waiting lists for some things, but for the most part, you don't. But we were shocked at a couple places, how packed they were at the time of the night. Like at 7 o'clock, it is just jam packed. And then they tell you you gotta wait to get in. And they're not offering, nothing great, but it's edible. And it's not like some places where everything is just bar food. Like I mean, you go to places and all they got is like 8 microwaves and a lot of different type of beers. So if you go there and you see a lot of microwaves, nothing's being made fresh. So don't think you're gonna get fresh food out of a microwave. It's just not gonna happen. It's impossible. And then the other weird thing too is that we went into one place and it was called Bourbon and Bones. You order your food and they had a pretty decent menu. whether you wanted ribs or whether you wanted a steak or whatever it is you wanted, you got your food in 3 damn minutes. It's almost like they knew what you want before you walked in. Or maybe it was all pre-made and they slapped it in a microwave. But, Bourbon and Bones is one of my favorite ones, down there and stuff, because I didn't expect a great meal and I didn't get a great meal, but I expected an edible meal with a great beer. Everything in Scottsdale is catered toward the beer. All the food is catered toward the beer. And then when you order food, I'm going to tell you something now. Being from the East Coast, I like my food to be warm and still hot after 3 minutes of sitting on my damn table, because I know it takes beef at least 3 to 5 minutes before it starts cooling off. You get your food in 3 minutes and it doesn't stay hot very, very long after that. So you got to just get, once your food arrives, and if you want every single bite to be warm because you order a warm meal, you got to get to business right away. You got to get to business right away. So, when you say that, Scottsdale has what they call Old Town Scottsdale. They had a few nice places in there to eat at as well. And of course, your typical mall, but you don't have to go in the mall to get, matter of fact, the mall probably got just changed from what I saw, but all your good food is around the mall, but it's in like a good mile, at the most a mile and a half a radius of the main street. But everything you want is on the main street, whether it's Mexican, whether it's Tex-Mex, whether it's American food, it's all right there. But what they offer you is food from other places. There is no Arizona food. The closest you're going to come is cacti, which is eating cactus. So that's as close as you're going to come to getting anything that's Arizonian in nature. And, but you don't see a lot of fat people. No. They didn't have a lot of fat people because upscale areas don't seem to have a lot of fat people. I noticed that in my, 55, 60 years on this earth. Yeah. Fat people don't live in nice areas. They normally live in, sloppy areas, trailer homes and all that kind of stuff, or in what they call the low rent district, or like Hillary Clinton said, near the basket of deplorables and stuff, But in Scottsdale, the people there, they're more of the younger generation, because there's not a lot of old people running around. All the old people are on the other side of Phoenix, on the west side. That's where all the old folks are. All the younger folks or young families wants to be in Scottsdale because for some reason, probably better schools and, like I said, everything over there looked brand new and fresh. And I really did enjoy that. But if you go a little bit farther to Mesa or Tempe, now Tempe got a lot of students, so you're gonna have your typical, Shake Shack and In-N-Out Burger. You're gonna have all that typical chain stuff. But in Scottsdale, you don't see a lot of that. Now, don't get me wrong, they have the odd McDonald's and all that kind of stuff, but upscale areas don't have that. Definitely not a Walmart. They may have one, but it's hidden very, very well because most things in Scottsdale are hidden off the main street, off any main street. They're usually hidden somewhere where you got to really hunt for them and your GPS got to just take you to them. So if you want to go to Phoenix and have decent food, and plus, Scottsdale is not far from the airport. It's maybe a 15 to 20 minute ride, but not far at all. The airport is on the, actually it's more like downtown. Who in the hell builds an airport downtown? I don't know. But the airport could have been built before Phoenix got big because it's a city of about 1.7 million people. Suburbs, maybe 6 million. Arizona only got 7 million people. But I think that's wrong too because I don't think they counted I don't think when they took the population count, they counted the Native Americans because I saw a lot of them in certain parts, especially going to the east near the reservations. But back to Scottsdale. Scottsdale wants to be kind of like a Colorado Springs in a way. They're getting micro brews and all these other places there, but they need to focus on the food. And maybe some people in Phoenix have had bad food for a long period of time. They're just used to it. And that can be why Scottsdale seems very, very appealing because of the type of food they have. They have a little everything. They don't have a lot of chains. And a lot of people, I was told this, a lot of people came from other parts of, the U.S. They came from the Northeast. They came from, it's not a lot of Tex-Mex, but they do advertise barbecue a lot. And some reason, I was trying to find some ribs, and the places that had ribs I don't want a place that I go there and I order ribs, and the ribs are served to me 3 minutes later. Yeah, something's not right about that. Yeah, but my buddy ordered some, and he had them 3 minutes later, and then they don't like selling or serving, ribs with no sauce on them. But I know why, because the ribs are already done. They're already prepackaged, and they put them in a sous vide, and then sous vide, they're not really frozen or on a heat lamp. They're just really at warming temperature. You come in, you order it, it is what it is. And if you don't order it, they don't throw it away. They just take it out and they just put it back in the freezer for the next customer or idiot that orders something that they claim is fresh. But saying that, I went to about 6 different places to eat in Scottsdale. Nowhere, nor did anybody say their food was fresh. So they don't lie to you. They just don't tell you it's not fresh, which is to a chef a lie. So that's how they operate there in Scottsdale. But if you ever want to get some good food, go to Old Town Scottsdale. And then I noticed too, when you look at a lot of the magazines in the Phoenix area, they boast and brag about the food in Scottsdale, not necessarily the food in Phoenix. And I'm like, that's kind of odd. You'd think they would boast about the stuff in Phoenix. No, almost every place that's nice is in one of the suburbs, whether it's Tempe, Mesa, whether it's Scottsdale, whether it's Chandler, whether it's Paradise. They brag. Those places seem to have all of the nice stuff. Now, what I tried to do, I tried to find the downtrodden part of Phoenix, the part that's negative. Because I like to try foods that the local people who live there, whether they're Hispanic, because all the whites we know came from somewhere else. But I try to find people, you got an Air Force base there, Luke, which got a lot of retirees around it. But I try to find places that locals go, because generally, one thing for a fact, the food's gonna be cheaper. The locals are gonna make everything fresh. Locals don't buy a lot of imported, already made food. No, they're gonna have fresh stuff. But that was hard to find in Phoenix. And now I'm not the kind of person that is gonna go out and get shot because I'm trying to find a cheap meal. That's not me. But I just wanted something that was authentic, like Sonorian food, from Mexico. I just tried to find something that was authentic, So I wanted to go where the people, who lived there and grew up there and raised there and been there for many generations. I want to go where they go eat at, because that's where you're gonna find the best food at. So I didn't find I couldn't really find that, but maybe because it was time of the day or 7, 8 o'clock at night, and a lot of places, in the hood, you go 7, 8 at night, you got a problem because you know where you shouldn't be. But the other thing about Scottsdale, and I think someone told me they do this, they didn't have food trucks anywhere. I drove around Scottsdale. I went on the internet. I couldn't find food trucks. Now, somebody told me that they have one day out of the week where they have like a food truck convention. I couldn't find any food trucks. And I'm always a big proponent of food trucks. I like to go there, eat, try them out, because food trucks always got unique stuff. And it's never really carnival food like a lot of places, like a state fair. No, I want to get real, authentic food truck type food. But I couldn't find none in Scottsdale, maybe because it was the wrong day of the week. I get that, understand that. But I went to Phoenix, and I did see a few food trucks, but food trucks are not like the East Coast or West Coast in Arizona. I don't know what they got to go through to get a license to do all this stuff. I didn't see a lot of food on the streets being sold. No push carts, no fruits and vegetables. And it could be because, and it wasn't just Scottsdale or Mesa or Tempe. No, no, that was most of Phoenix. I mean, people just don't really get into that kind of stuff. Not like I expected of a city of 1.6 million people or 1.7 million people. I really thought that I'm going to get there, this bustling big city, like the other big cities, because Phoenix is like the sixth or seventh largest city in America. And I'm thinking I'm going to have all this stuff. I'm going to enjoy this great food. Kind of like a food truck competition I was hoping for. Nope, didn't happen at all. Didn't happen at all. Not in Phoenix. Phoenix is geared toward restaurants. And I tell anybody, one of the biggest things about food trucks versus a restaurant is easier to tax and make sure people got a license when you got a building that doesn't move. Because when you get a food truck, if the permit or whatever, or the proprietor do not meet the conditions of the permits, he can just move to another part of the city. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't see food inspectors in the hood. No, you don't. You see them downtown because they don't want the tourists to have a bad experience. They want the tourists to come back, spend their money, whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do. That's what the city wants. And the city wants the revenue from the food trucks and the taxes. It's easy downtown of a fixed building than it is from a food truck. A food truck, a lot of them are cash only, but that's going away. I mean, that's going away. They all take some type of form of payment, whether it's Venmo, Apple Pay, whether it's Cash App. You know, I mean, they all take some kind of, because it's easier for them to, know what they're going to make or know what they made versus cash, where an employee can easily steal money without the owner knowing. Matter of fact, I was at one place in the food truck and they took only credit cards or debit cards only. They didn't even take cash, which is not a smart. I mean, which is a smart thing to do, because if I'm sitting at home and I'm hurt or I'm sick or whatever, and my son's running it, I need to know what he's making without me having to be there while I'm sick. But my whole point is, if you're gonna go out west to Arizona, unlike Flagstaff, the food just sucks. The food just sucks no matter where you go in Flagstaff, Arizona. But Scottsdale, the food is great there. Not great in a way that it's tasty or it's like New Orleans. No. It's not that. But it's just that when I say great, you got a big variety of food. And in Scottsdale, it's pricey, but they give you a good size portion. You're going to leave there full. But Scottsdale, because it's like a young person's town, the beers and the bars are more important than the food. You got to deal with that. I did not see a lot of steak houses. I saw a lot of places that sell steak. But as far as steak houses, no, you're not going to find those. You'll find a few of those in Phoenix, in certain places, in Chandler. But you're not going to find them in Scottsdale. Scottsdale, you're going to find beer and meat. That's just what they specialize in. So, this is your boy, DJ Leon D. By me going to Scottsdale, I think Arizona redeemed themselves a little bit. Still can't find a true Arizonian dish outside of cacti, but they did have, I had more of a choice, and the choices didn't look bad. And for what I had, and what I paid, I was averaging about $30 a dinner, about 20 a lunch, so I wasn't doing too bad. Now they got 5,000 kind of drinks, and somebody who did not drink a lot, I'm like, okay, this, but every place specialized in their drinks more than their food in Scottsdale. Where in Phoenix, I can find places that, didn't sell drinks and the food menu was the main reason why you were there. Not in Scottsdale. Everybody I went to say, oh, they got great beer. I'm like, what about the damn food? What about the damn food? Well, yeah, the food's not bad. So I had to go eat at a place where the food's not bad. And I found a lot of them, but tell yourself though, it's bar food. A few of them serve restaurant food, but most of them serve bar food. And you just got to get over that. Okay, this is your boy, DJ Leon D. I'm out. We'll talk in a minute.